Hi. So I thought I would come on here and share my daughter Isabel, her medical story. In my videos and stuff, I show a lot of her tube feedings, or if you follow me on social media, you can kind of see like our journey through it all. When I was pregnant with Izzy at 34 weeks, I went in for my last ultrasound and found out I had double the amount of amniotic fluid. I had enough room in my stomach that I could have been carrying twins, and it was not twins, it was plenty of room. They say an Olympic swimming pool, all for Queen Izzy, Princess Izzy. She got the Olympic swimming pool all to herself. She was 4 pounds and I believe 6 ounces at that time, and the lady doing the ultrasound was like, oh, that's a little worrisome. So they went in and they talked to my OB, and he brought us in after and we kind of talked about it, and he said, I want you to get a closer look next week to see where we're at. He never kind of said anything because I know he knows how I am. I'm a worrier. So we just kind of, all of that week, kind of kept a light heart about it, and kind of was, you know, trying to be, you know, not freak out. So we were just kind of, oh, it might just be a lot of amniotic fluid. Our baby just might be little girl, you know. We didn't know she was a girl at the time, but, you know, she just might be little. Then at 35 weeks, we went in for a closer look ultrasound, and they were doing multiple ultrasounds and stress tests, and they were just saying that they were kind of having a hard time kind of seeing like how big her stomach was. And we were kind of like, does that really add up? You know, and they're like, the baby's tiny. And again, just so much amniotic fluid. At that point, a week later, she was 4 pounds and 8 ounces. So really not gaining. Well, they sent us back to the hospital that we originally go to, and we saw a specialist. And she looked at the ultrasound twice and then brought us into a room, and at 35 weeks informed us that Izzy has esophageal atresia. It can be called EA or TEF. She has EA. So esophageal atresia is when your esophagus is not connected to your stomach. And for a baby like that small, it's concerning. Obviously, I mean, it's concerning for anybody, but that's why she was so small, because she was never swallowing. She doesn't know how to swallow. She doesn't know how to work those muscles. Then also, it wasn't connected to her stomach, so that's why her stomach was so little. So my OB called me and we went over everything, and I asked him, I was like, have you seen this before? Have you seen this before? She's got wildfire back here. Have you seen this before, or is this common? And his response was, this is not common. This is kind of rare. So we were kind of a little bit in shell shock. It was really hard. We ended up deciding with our OB that we would schedule induction at 37 weeks. So we planned to do that, and at 36 weeks in the morning, bright and early, Miss Izzy brought some big contractions, and I was in denial because I had so much amniotic fluid. I really wanted it to be drained so then I could have a successful delivery. And at that point, all the specialists would not allow it. My best friend came with me, who's a nurse, and she was like, Michaela, you have to stop fighting them because it's not going to be good. They were talking about placenta abruption, and she was like, stop arguing, stop, like, let it go. These are your options. And I was like, so I'm having a baby today. And they're like, you're having a baby today. And so I had to have a C-section, which I didn't have before. So I've never experienced that. Also, the thing is that with my delivery, I had to be put in, like, maybe it's common, I don't know, but pretty much a tarp bag because I had so much amniotic fluid. Like, it was everywhere. I got it on video. It's really cool, actually. So, right from surgery, Izzy went straight to the NICU. She was born at 4 pounds and 8 ounces. And we met with our surgeon, and we met with him shortly after we found out that this was her case. And we talked with him, and he was like, these are the 6 options of the different types of esophageal atresia or TEF that I see, but we won't know which one it is until he goes in for surgery. He said, here's like, this is the most common one, this one's kind of rare, this one is so-and-so. Ends up, Izzy has surgery 2 days after delivery, and her EA is one that our surgeon has not seen before. Keep in mind, our surgeon has been doing this forever. He's like the chief. We also go to the St. Louis Children's Mercy Hospital. Also, I know people go to Cincinnati, Boston, and maybe Chicago, but I could be hesitant on Chicago, I can't remember. But luckily we weren't sent to any of those places. Also, people go to Florida. So we were lucky that we had a surgeon here. Her gap was pretty separated, and one that he's not seen before, or maybe one that's like not as common at all for him. He was able to reconnect it, which other surgeon in that field said it was a miracle he was able to do it all in one surgery. There was talks that she would have to have a second surgery and would have to stay to get it fully reconnected again. Luckily that wasn't our case, but we did have to spend 2 months in the NICU to have Izzy learn how to eat orally through a bottle, but she unfortunately never was able to do that, which led to her having a feeding tube, a G-tube placed in her belly. Then at 4 months, she had another surgery to help with her reflux, because babies with EA, maybe even TEF, the reflux is really bad. So Izzy had to have a fundoplantation, I can't remember the full term, but that's to help keep everything down so she doesn't throw up. Izzy is 7 months old, but gestationally she's 6 months old and weighs maybe 12 pounds. She's a little girl, but she's long. She's a long girl. She still is struggling to eat orally through a bottle, but gets OT and PT. Goes OT once a month and PT weekly. And PT also works on some OT stuff. So we go over and try to teach her things. Right now she's entering baby food, as well as she did take her first bottle for the first time earlier this week, which was amazing. We've been going through different medications to find things that are helping to keep things down, because her reflux and her throwing up is still a big problem for her, and her weight gain. So that's something that we still are working on. She also, she gets sick. So unfortunately this whole month of July she's been sick, which means if she has like even gets a cold, she's just like out and just throws up so much. So we've been just kind of dealing with that all month, which is unfortunate, but we're happy that she hasn't lost weight and hasn't had to go into the hospital to be taken care of for it. So as of right now, that's where we're at. And hopefully at like maybe like a year, I can make another video and kind of just show our updates and how far we've come.